Okay, this is a hive. This is a hive that I've got at a secret location. And the last time I checked on them, they were in super duper great shape. And I'm just going to see how they're doing today. So this is one of these hives that I had 9 frames in the brood box. And you can see they're just filling it all up. So that's a big mess. I'm just going to leave it alone. But you can see here they got drones. So they're doing their thing. Yeah. This is a really good looking colony. The queen is definitely down in the bottom box, so I'm just going to leave it alone, I'd say. I'm just going to see if I can find the queen though. So I came here today to put the another box with drawn comb on top of this hive that's busting loose and doing great, and completely forgot to bring my my veil, of course. So I'm doing it with nothing. I got my spray bottle, hoping for the best here. It's going to be quick operation anyway. Okay, no problem. But you can see the inner cover, loads of bees packing that inner cover, and the top bars in the box down below was packed with bees too. So, and they're working that bottom entrance. The queen is filling this deep, this medium, and the top. So she's all over the place. They've got enough drawn comb to keep her busy, but now they got a ton. So I'm gonna put them on and try not to get stung. All right, I did it. Done. Something else too. In the early spring, this is a thought that I've had for a while. Let's lay out a couple thoughts here. One is in the early spring when the bees are building up the brood nest. I don't think ventilation is really that key, because it's not hot. At least in my local climate, it's just not hot. The bees don't overheat. So I think in the early spring, it's okay to just block off that top hole, like not have a ventilation rim up top or anything like that. Keep the heat in, keep the air in, and so that brood can just stay warmer, and it's not just so the brood doesn't get cold. It's good to keep the hive ventilated so that I got a defensive bee right there. I'm just standing back. It's good to keep the hive ventilated in case there's moisture in there, but if I know it's a dry hive, then yeah, I don't think I'm going to block up the top as much as I used to. Or keep it as ventilated as I used to. I'll keep it blocked up a bit. Like this colony right now doesn't have a great deal of it's got just this as the ventilation, and that's enough. You know, it doesn't need a fancy box, I don't think, this early in the spring. But once they really start cooking and it gets hot in there, then yeah, I'll give them some ventilation. The other thing too is this colony, from this box down, let me go wide here. This medium and this deep, they have 3-frame brood nest on the go. It's a 10-frame box, but I spread them out to a 3-frame, 9-frame brood nest. And I did that just to give them room, and I saw someone else do it in Manitoba, and it seemed like a good idea, and it was. But the bees end up building a lot of, as you would expect, a lot of burr comb on the side. In fact, this colony just completely filled in the space with a whole comb of just comb on the side of the hive, on the other side of the hive, though there's still a big gap on this side. But anyway, the main point is that there's 9 frames in this 10-frame brood nest, and this colony is off to the races, doing fantastic. And the other colony that I have in Flat Rock which also had 9 frames all year last year and going into all winter, is also off to the races. I don't know if there's a correlation or if it's just a coincidence, but when I look back on the first 2 years of my beekeeping, I used these things called dummy boards, which also provided a 9-frame brood nest and gave the bees space on the side to just sort of hang out, and allowed for better air convection inside the hive, that type of thing, the insulation, all kinds of good stuff. And those colonies, I remember, those ones with the 9 frames instead of the 10 frames were also in better shape than my regular 10 frames. So I might think about building some dummy boards, or dummy frames, or some people call dummy boards dummy frames, but basically little thin frames that go onto the sides of each side of the hive. It creates space on the side instead of just leaving space on the side. You know what I mean? So there's a frame there, and it maintains the bee space, but it also creates extra space for the bees to just congregate and hang out and get off the brood nest when they need to help lower the temperature of the brood nest and regulate the hive and all that jazz, if you're picking up what I'm laying down. Anyhow, so these bees are great. It's going up to 15 degrees today. I think maybe 18 degrees. So supposedly it's 15 degrees now, but it's definitely not close to the ocean where I am right now. It's definitely not 15 degrees yet. Oh, whoop, whoop. Look, this bee, looks like this bee over here gets died for some reason. But anyway, I'm gonna get away. Anyway, really nice. Love it. Oh, and this new box too has a has a hole there too. I drilled a hole. I think I'm going to drill holes in all of my supers from now on. I think I can always plug them up, and I really like something about it. Just seems to be bees seem to like it. Look, and there's a looks like a drone pupa that got discarded. Probably got squished during the hive inspection yesterday. But check them out, man. Here's one other thing that's sort of a peeve of mine, or a pet peeve of my beekeeping pet peeve of mine, is this super. You can see here it's got a slightly smaller handle, and this one has a wider handle, and this one has a smaller one, and this is a wider one. And you can see they're not, so they were built from different places. I think this one was local, and this one was from Manitoba. And you can see the local one is wider by a couple millimeters than the Manitoba one. And it's bulging out right here, right? So and so now I've got a gap, and there's nothing I can do about it because I've got the new super on here, right? No matter what I do, there's a gap right here. There's a ridge now where water can get in. So dealing with these imperfections, I think the best way to go is to have it flat on the back, because this is the hive is tilted more this way, and hopefully any rain that comes through this side, I don't want it to pool right there. So I'll move this right now so that it's flat with the rest of the hive. But honestly, I wish everyone could just use exactly the same measurements, and they don't. I mean, just look at that gap, right? Look at that ridge. I'll leave it there. I think what I'll do is I got to come up with some ideas, like for poor people like me who can't just go out and buy all their gear at once and have to build it piece by piece like this. We need a solution for this. We need, how do we cope with this? I think I got to get some kind of clay or something that I can just goop on there and just seal that in until the bees are able to create their own propolis seal or something. Anywho, that's it.